Namaste. Welcome to Telugu Prajala Mana Sakshi TV. Welcome to Sakshi TV special immigration show with attorney Bhanu Illindra. Please note that Sakshi TV now has 3 immigration shows every week on Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. EST with attorney Ms. Prashanthi Reddy, Thursday 5:30 p.m. EST with Chand Parvatneni, and on Friday 6 p.m. EST with Bhanu Illindra. Please tune in to ask your questions. If you have any queries regarding immigration, please feel free to call us. Our attorneys would like to answer your questions. If you are immigration attorney and would like to join us in our special shows, please email us at usa@sakshi.com or you can call us at 866-725-7441. Before we begin the show, please note down the information provided in this show is not a legal advice. It's for general information purposes only. Sakshi TV or its agents are not responsible for the use of this information. If you need a special legal advice, please contact attorneys directly. Today, we are going to talk about EB1C and IAP for Indian nationals. To discuss that, we are here with our attorney, Mr. Bhanu Illindra Garu. So, welcome to our show, Bhanu Illindra Garu.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for inviting me back to the show again. And I'm honored to do this show.
Of course, we are happy to be. Yes, of course. Thank you so much. So, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for asking me that. My name is Bhanu Babu Illindra. I'm an immigration attorney. I'm actually I belong to Andhra and Telangana, Telugu states, and I grew up there. My family was from there. My నాన్నగారు అక్కడ జిల్లా పని చేశారు అండ్ వారు చాలా డిస్ట్రిక్ట్స్ లో పనిచేశారు జిల్లా వారి ద్వారా నేను ఫాలో అవుతూ నేను కూడా లాయర్ అయ్యాను. ఆ విధంగా ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి ఇక్కడ లా చదివాను. ఇక్కడ లా చదివి నేను ఇక్కడ బార్ అడ్మిషన్ తీసుకొని ఇక్కడ లా ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసి మొదలు పెట్టాను. 2004 నుంచి ఐఎమ్ ప్రాక్టీసింగ్ లా ఇయర్ అండి. సో ఆల్మోస్ట్ 19 years now. And I started my own firm, BBI Law Group, in 2008 అండి. And we exclusively represent in immigration matters. And we represent in all types of immigration matters: employment-based immigration, family-based immigration, EB5 investor visas. There's a lot of curiosity, a lot of inquiries are happening with EB5 program, and I'm glad that people are considering that option these days. And we do a lot of cases with EB5 also, and we do all of the types of immigration matters, any corporate complaints issues, like the F1 student issues, J1 student issues, whatnot, A to Z, all types of immigration matters we handle in our firm. We have expertise to handle all types of immigration matters.
Awesome. So, to discuss more and more about this topic, so can we start with what is the basic, what is EB1C?
Okay. The EB1C is మనము అమెరికా రావాలంటే there are 2 ways you can come to America, right? Majorly 2 ways. There are different other ways. కానీ I'm talking particularly to our Indian nationals. మన Indians కి అమెరికా రావాలంటే what are the possibilities? That is what we are looking into here, right? And our possibilities is that the individuals can come either on employment-based category or a family-based category or as an investor into this country. Investor visa కింద. ఈవెన్ అది కూడా ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ బేస్డ్ కేటగిరీ కిందకే వస్తుంది, సబ్ కేటగిరీ కిందే వస్తుంది దాంట్లోనే. ఈ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ బేస్డ్ కేటగిరీలో there are 2 ways you can come in. One, you can come as a temporary worker for temporary time period, like ఒక నాన్ ఇమిగ్రెంట్ వీసా మీద, వర్క్ వీసా మీద వచ్చి వర్క్ చేసుకొని మళ్ళీ బ్యాక్ వెళ్ళిపోవచ్చు మీరు. లేదా you can come to stay in America permanently by applying for permanent residence here, getting a green card and everything. Okay? So when you're applying when you want to get a permanent residency on employment-based category, there are 3 preference categories in which usually people apply for the green cards on employment-based category. One is EB1 category, second one is EB2, third one is EB3 category. In EB1 category also, there are 3 separate subcategories like EB1A, EB1B, and EB1C. This is the first preference category, అంటే హైయెస్ట్ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ వీళ్ళకి ఇస్తారు అప్లై చేసిన వాళ్ళకి, గ్రీన్ కార్డ్ చేసిన వాళ్ళకి. వీళ్ళ తర్వాత EB2 అప్లై చేసిన వాళ్ళకి సెకండ్ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఇస్తారు. తర్వాత EB3లో అప్లై చేసిన వాళ్ళకి థర్డ్ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఇస్తారు. ఓకే. అండ్ ఈ EB1A, EB1B, EB1C, just want to give a brief introduction about that so that I can talk more in detail about EB1C. EB1A is meant for the individuals who have extraordinary ability or an exceptional ability. Okay, extraordinary ability anamata. Ante individuals who recognized as the scholars, like for example, they have a national international recognition in the field of endeavor in which they want to work for. For example, if I'm a lawyer and if I have a recognition internationally or nationally recognizing what I did as a lawyer or what my abilities as a lawyer, then they can consider me in EB1A category to come into this country. Okay. And EB1B is meant for outstanding scholars and researchers. Basically, mostly these are employed by the universities who are involved in the highest research activities. Basically, they are postdocs cover through. They're involved in top economic, significant benefit to the national interest in research activities. Dalvi EB1B category antamu. Most of the postdocs వీళ్ళందరూ ఆ కేటగిరీలో క్వాలిఫై అవుతారు. యూనివర్సిటీస్ చాలా మందికి EB1B లో ఫైల్ చేస్తారు. who have completed their PhDs కానీ పోస్ట్ డాక్స్ చేసిన వాళ్ళకి వీళ్ళకి they qualify in the EB1B category. And the third category is EB1C category, which is basically called multinational executive or a managerial category. It's clearly called multinational executive or a managerial category because it is applicable only for the individuals whom the companies wants to bring. The individuals who are already employed for their foreign parent, affiliate, or subsidiary or a branch. And it's an intra-company transfer employees. For example, let's assume the Tata Consultancy Services is there, right? They have an office in US and they have offices in India also. Okay. And Indian company is a parent and the US company is a subsidiary or an affiliate to the Tata Consultancy Services India, Tata Consultancy Services US. The Tata Consultancy Services US wants to bring one of the managers or executives from Tata Consultancy Services in India permanently to the US, not like temporarily, permanently to the US. And if that individual is qualifies as a manager and executive in Tata Consultancy Services in India, they can actually bring him on EB1C category. Okay, so EB1C is only meant for the intra-company transfers. Not every manager, not every executive will qualify for the EB1C. There's certain people only who are actually working for you in the foreign entity, at least for 1 year in the past 3 years. And if you want to bring them to the US entity permanently by sponsoring them the green card, then they qualify for the EB1C category. That is what EB1C category is.
Okay, so do you think like EB1C eligible for premium processing?
Yes, they rolled out premium processing right now. They're slowly rolling it out right now. Any application that has been filed on or before January 10, 2022, I think January 20, 2022 or January 10, 2022, those cases are eligible for premium processing right now. But very soon, they're going to roll out for all types of EB1C cases into premium processing. So the good advantage with that is if you're Indian nationals, because you have a priority dates. I mean, as I said, there are limited immigrant visas available in employment-based category per year, especially for Indian categories. There are Indian people also per country limitation prakaranga, only 7% of the total number of employment-based categories are available for the Indian nationals. Okay, and in that 7%, obviously we have totally we have around 140,000 employment-based category visas, but this year there are 60,000 unused and family-based category visas also have been allotted to the employment-based category. So there are 200,000 employment-based immigrant visas are available for fiscal year 2023. Okay. However, you have to understand this. In the 200,000, only 7% are available for the Indian nationals in all employment-based categories: EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, which is a special religious visas, and then EB5 also. Okay. So 7% of 200,000 is equal to how much? It's around 16,000 visas, not more than that. Okay. But we have a demand more than 100,000 in a year, 200,000 in a year, because that many people are coming to the US from India. And these all people who want to settle permanently in the US, they're applying for the green cards. And because of that, such a demand, there's a huge backlog for the Indian nationals to get a green cards, especially in EB2 and EB3 category. Honey, however, in EB1,
I was about to ask you about the same green card, like, how hard it is to get into EB1 green card.
it depends, Andy. I think we're jumping the gun right now, and so it depends. As you said, for your question, it depends. How hard means it all depends upon which category we are applying for: EB1A, EB1B, EB1C, or how the individual qualifies for the positions. There's a qualifying relationship between the US entity or the Indian entity for the EB1C category. All those factors will come into existence, and we have to establish as an applicant, as a benefactor, we have to establish all those factors to the USA. So it depends upon case to case. Good thing is right now for EB1C is so important right now is because the visa, as I said, immigrant visas are backlogged for the EB2 and EB3 category. Now, EB1 category is current. If anybody applying in EB1 category, they can file 485 concurrently along with I-140. And good thing about EB1C category and EB1A category is, and EB1 category is that they don't have to apply for the labor certification. They don't have to do the recruitment to find a qualified US worker. They don't have to test the labor market to find a qualified US worker. So because of that reason, EB1C program and EB1A program, EB1B program is huge advantage. And also because as it's very difficult to qualify for that, a lot of individuals, it always remains available, for most of the time it remains available for the Indian nationals. That's where the degree of difficulty is very difficult to say in general. Generally, it requires very high standard for someone to meet. They should have higher qualifications, higher standards to meet to qualify for the EB1A or EB1B or EB1C. But EB1C is that major requirement for EB1C is that if there is a qualifying relationship between the company from foreign entity and the US entity, and whether this individual is actually working in Indian entity as a manager or executive, or does he qualify to bring in as a manager or executive to the US? That is most important things. If you can establish those things, then EB1C, most of the times you may fly with colors.
Okay. So people who are on EB1C, can they change the jobs?
Yes, they do. They do eligible. They are also eligible. They can change jobs. For example, if they meet the portability regulatory requirements, that means, for example, if their I-140 is already approved and they file 485, I-485, which is adjustment of status application, and if their application is pending more than 180 days, they are eligible to port their employment to a new employer in a same position, like an executive or a managerial position. And as long as it is in the same or similar occupation as an executive or a managerial, it does not matter. They can port their employment to a new employer. So there is no requirement, there's no restrictions for the EB1 nationals to port their employment to a new employer. See, for EB1A, portability does not become even requirement because EB1A can be self-petitioned.
Okay. So, like, usually how long does it take for EB1C to get approved?
These days, we are seeing almost 1 year to 15 months.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
I mean, I'm talking about regular processing.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Bhanu, we are going to discuss about EB1C and as well as the IEP. So, what is the IEP? Like, it is for the
IEP is IEP is an international entrepreneur parole program. Okay, it is not a green card.
Okay.
For example, it is very, very useful for the individuals if they did not get their H-1B visa. Okay, for example, because of the lottery system, sometimes employees, your valuable employees may not qualify for the H-1B visa, and you don't know how to bring them to the US, right? But you need the guy to be in the US. So this International Entrepreneur Parole Program is very, very useful. Why a lot of people do not know about this program is this program was actually introduced by Obama administration very recently in 2017. Prior to Obama administration, this program was not there. Okay, but when this program was introduced by Obama administration, when Trump administration came in, they actually shut down this program. Okay, Trump administration wanted to do everything anti what Obama has done. They want to redo everything what Obama has done. Their agenda was to erase the entire legacy of Obama, what he has done in this country. So they were basically taking out every policy, every procedure, everything which was introduced by Obama to zero. That's what Trump administration has done. So they basically suspended this program. Then it went to the court laws. case laws and everything. And then when the Biden administration has come, again they reactivated this program, IEP program. Okay, and it's called International Entrepreneur Parole. That means it's a parole program. It's not any non-immigrant or immigrant visa program. The advantage with this is this. See, a lot of people may not have an ability to invest money that require to get a green card under EB5 category, because the money requirement is very high, threshold is very high for the EB5 category, like 800,000 or $1,050,000 has to be invested in the US entity, US commercial enterprise, and that money should be resulting in creating 10 jobs to the US workers. That is a requirement for the EB5 program. The threshold is very high, investing money and everything. But with the International Entrepreneur Parole Program, the individual who's actually coming as a parolee into this country may not invest any money into it. He needs to only secure investment on his behalf from the individuals in the US who already invested, who are in the business of investing money for the startups, like a joint venture capitalist, like the JCs, they call them JCs and everything. They are the individuals. And if they can get that kind of investment, then they're qualifying for it. For example, when this regulation is enacted, the requirement was if the investor who's investing into the business should meet two requirements. One is investor must be investing $250,000 into the commercial enterprise, in which the individual for whom is seeking entrepreneur parole. Okay, investor is different from the entrepreneur parolee. Is a beneficiary. So $250,000, and he must have invested at least in two other businesses other than this one, to the maximum amount of $600,000. That was the initial when the regulation was started. But however, in the regulations, there was a stipulation that these amounts can be adjusted based upon the requirements of the inflation, whatever it is, and everything. Accordingly, right now, that amount has increased now for this year. They should have invested in other two entities beyond this, besides this entity is around $633,000. Okay. And they should be willing to invest in this enterprise around $264,000. If they're investing $264,000 in this and they're giving 10% minimum stake ownership to the individual whom they want to bring on entrepreneurial parole program, then they can qualify for this International Entrepreneur Parole Program. Chill example cheptanandi meeku. I think it's easy to explain an example. Let's assume there I would say, let's talk about the John. Okay, John is in this country and is actually working for company X. Okay, and he's working pursuant to his F1 visa OPT status. Okay, he's an innovator. He's a scientist basically. He's doing a lot of research work. He's doing a lot of innovations in his job and everything. It could be anything, right? It could be semiconductor innovations, or it may be automobile innovations, whatever it is, or maybe into engineering designs. Whatever he is in, is in some very good position in this country and is bringing a lot of value to that company, basically, in the position which he is in. But he's working pursuant to F1 STEM OPT program, okay, because he qualifies for the STEM OPT. But unfortunately, when the company tried to put him in the lottery, he has not got selected in the lottery. And there is no option for them because the STEM OPT is getting expired. He has to leave the country, right? So what this company X owner, he has a background of investing monies into several entities. Okay, so he decides, the owner of company X, saying that, okay, I'm going to invest $250,000 into the company X. Okay, and I'm going to give 10% ownership to John in this company. Okay, and if John is willing to take 10% ownership in this company and work in this company as a CEO or a CFO or CTO or director of the particular wing, the research department or innovation department, whichever it is, and if he's willing to take the job, then this company X can actually get in the International Entrepreneur Parole Program. Then John can apply for the International Entrepreneur Payroll Program based upon that investment invested by X in the company $250,000, and this individual can get that International Entrepreneur Payroll Program. For each company, if they invest $250,000, this company can allow 3 individuals to come on the International Entrepreneur Payroll Program to that company. But obviously, every individual should get at a minimum 10% ownership into that business. Okay, so what company X owners are doing is they're investing $250,000 plus they're giving away 10% ownership or stock ownership into the company to the individual whom they want to bring in on an International Entrepreneur Program. And there is no limitation on how many years you can actually work. Thing is, the company, whatever they're doing, this investment, this business, should have a significant public benefit to the United States. Okay, you just can't. I mean, it varies to vary. What do you mean by significant public benefit? Is as long as it's creating positive net returns, it's creating positive job, whatever the factors are, then we can clearly show that as long as we are showing that this individual will be able to extend his payroll authorization every 2 years, and he can continue working for that company as long as he is there. But if he qualifies for these things, sometimes these individuals may qualify for EB-1A also, depending upon where they're coming in, how much money they're bringing in, how business is going and everything. And then they have an options to get the green card in various means, right? EB-1A program. And later on, assume that even this is not work. I mean, EB-1A does not qualify, but this individual is so strong, so qualifies, they can actually send this individual to India for 1 year, or foreign country for their affiliate 1 year, or to the branch for 1 year, and then bring him on EB-1C green card also, right? So there are several options available for them in that aspect. That's why this IEP program is very, very important, especially these days where H-1Bs are getting so tougher for individuals to get in because of the lottery system.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Bhanu Illindra, for clarifying all the questions. Once again, thank you for coming to our show. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, Eddie. It's my pleasure to join every time. I've been very thankful to Sakshi making me part of the family. I'm actually planning to visit India, so sometime next month. And if I come to India next month, I would love to meet you all in the studio there. You know, and thank you very much for welcoming back to the show again. You know, look forward for next week.
Definitely. Thank you so much. So this is Swarna signing off. You're watching Telugu Prajala Mana Sakshi TV. Namaste.